Here we go, Math 7 students. We'll be starting our Eveleth-Gilbert Junior High EGJH Math 7 video. This is for Mrs. Kemp and Miss Madden's classes. This video is on powers and exponents. It is Chapter 1, Section 2 of our Math 7 books. Some things to remember while you're watching this video. You can pause and rewind at any time throughout the video. When a new set of notes appears, pause the video, copy down the information, whether it be notes, examples, or vocabulary. Then listen to the explanation of those notes, examples, or vocabulary, and then you can move on. If you need to pause at any time, or rewind, or just watch the whole video again, please feel free to watch the video as many times as you need to. Also, ask your teacher if you have any questions or need any clarification on any of the concepts. Here again, pause the video, copy down these vocabulary words. There are a lot of them. Factors are two or more numbers that are multiplied together to form a product. In this case, these fives are the factors. They are the numbers that multiply together to form the product which is 125. The exponent in this one, the exponent is 3. That tells how many times to repeat that multiplication process. The base is that factor that's being repeated. In this case, it is the 5. 5 is the number that's being repeated 3 times. So the base is 5. And if you think of a base as the bottom, 5 in this case is our bottom number. 3, the exponent, goes in the upper right-hand corner. When you write exponents, write them smaller than the number and in the upper right-hand corner. A power is a number expressed using exponents. So 5 to the third power, we sometimes say. So power is just like exponents. Squared is a particular kind of exponent. It's when the exponent is 2. Cubed is also a particular kind of exponent. It's when the exponent is 3. So we have special names for to the second power and to the third power. Those are called squared and cubed. After that, we just say to the fourth power or to the fifth power. We don't have any special names for anything after 2 and 3. The next vocabulary word is evaluate. That means to solve or find the value of. So in this case, if it said evaluate 5 to the third power or 5 cubed, we would find the value. We'd find the answer to that problem, find the value. So the answer, of course, would be 125. Standard form is when you write the number out without any exponents, without any multiplication signs. You write the answer, the standard form of the number. Earlier on, you have learned word form. You've had expanded form. Now we're just talking about that standard form of a number. In this case, 125 is just a standard form of the number. Exponential form is when you write numbers with exponents in them. In this case, we're talking about 5 to the third power. That would be writing it in exponential form. Sometimes we refer to this 5 times 5 times 5. Sometimes we refer to that as expanded form, writing those multiplication problems out. Notice we use the dot for multiplication, not the X. So no longer will we be using that X for the times sign. From now on, we're going to be using that dot. And notice it's kind of like a decimal point, but it's raised up in the middle of the problem. So a dot for the multiplication sign. In Lesson 1-2, please write the directions in your notes. The directions will help so that you know what the problem was asking each time. So again, pause the video, copy down these, and then listen for the explanation. For letter A, we have 6 to the 4th power. In the directions it says to write as a product of the same factor. So what does that mean? A product of the same factor? Product means we're going to write out the multiplication and using the same factor. So the factor is our 6 in the first problem that's being repeated. And how many times is it being repeated? The exponent tells us it's being repeated 4 times. So this product will be 6 times 6 times 6 times 6. In example B, 1 is our base that's being repeated. That's a dot, sorry about that. So 1 times 1 times 1. Repeat that 3 times because the exponent is cubed. And for example C, 9 to the 5th power, we would write 9 times 9 times 9 times 9 times 9. And again, 9 is our repeated factor. That's called the base. 5 is the exponent that tells us how many times to repeat that factor. And again, there's no special name for to the 5th power. We just say to the 5th power. So that's writing a product of the same factor. Letter D, the directions D, E, F, the directions are to evaluate. That means we're going to find the value. We're going to find the answer to each of these. So we're going to show our work. Letter D is 10 squared, which means 10 times 10. We're repeating that factor, repeating that base twice. This is not 10 plus 10. It's a factor, so it's multiplication. So 10 times 10 is 100. Our value is 100. In this next example, we have 7 to the 3rd power, or 7 cubed. So we write that again using our work. 7 times 7 times 7. So multiply this out. Again, this is not 21. Try not to do these too fast. Sometimes you're going to have to use a calculator, and that's perfectly fine. 7 times 7 is 49. And then times another 7 is 343. Okay. Letter F, we have 5 to the 4th power. So again, we have our 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. We can group these together and look at some of those perfect squares. 5 times 5 is 25. And the other 5 times 5 is also 25. Then if we're looking at 25 times 25, we get 625. So those are finding the value, evaluate. So here again we've got our keyword value right there in the word evaluate. Down in letter G and H, we've got write in exponential form. So that means we're going to write this with exponents. So we need to count how many times each of these bases is repeated. So we've got 1, 2, 3 5s. That means 5 is the factor that's being repeated. So that's our base. And the exponent is how many times it's repeated. Again, when you write those exponents, write it a little bit smaller and in the upper right-hand corner. And letter H, we have 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12. There are 6 12s. 12 is the part that's getting repeated. So we write that as our base, and we counted 6 of them are being repeated. So we have 12 to the 6th power. Notice it just said to write in exponential form. It didn't say we have to find the value, just exponential form. Again, please feel free to contact your teacher if anything is not very clear, or if you just need clarification on any of the vocabulary or any of the examples. Have a great night.